Hey guys, this is Anthony Baker from Apollo Raw Games. My friends call me Tony, so I encourage you to do so as well. This video of the digital design series, we're going to go over how to upload files into Tabletopia so that in future videos we can show you how to create setups and play zones in order to get your game out there and get play tested or viewed by people you want in Kickstarter or however you want to use the Tabletopia website. So for this, you're going to need to get a web browser. It's going to either be Internet Explorer, Chrome, or Firefox. I use Internet Explorer. If you have a Windows machine, it is buried under your program files. Under Internet Explorer is the executable. The one that currently shows up on your computer from the installation is Microsoft Edge. Do not use that. Please use Internet Explorer. It's what I use. It's what I prefer. So we'll start by going to tabletopia.com. This is the landing page. This is actually the page where you play games. Go ahead and sign up for a free account. You can play plenty of games for free, as well as you can create one game with 2 setups for free as well, which is what we're going to be doing. So if you go onto your workshop, it'll come into your workshop page. Now in order for us to get started, we need to create a new game. So go ahead and click on that image there. And then we're going to go ahead and give it a name. We're going to call this Tabletopia video. Now you see this URL is auto-populated by the name of the game. If for whatever reason this URL matches someone else's game that's previously been made, this will throw you an error and require you to add characters to this to create a unique URL. So I'm going to go ahead and go down to save, and you can see our game has now been created. It's called Tabletopia Video and has been published. Now in order for us to include new objects and elements into the game, we're going to go ahead and click on this objects in the top. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. It's from a previous example. Alright, so this is the folder for our game that gets created when we create our game. If we want to add objects to it that are provided from Tabletopia, we can go to Featured. And then in this they have bags, different cubes and blocks, cards, meeples and dice, resource cubes, tokens, and discs. And then generally things you may need as you start to play, create your game, meeples and everything else. You cannot upload any 3D elements with a free designer subscription. So if you do have 3D elements of your own you'd like to upload, you will need to get a paid subscription. Or if you use any of these 3D objects provided for you by Tabletopia, you can still use those in your free account. So we're going to go ahead and start creating some things. So again, we're going to go up to Objects. We're going to go ahead and click on Tabletopia Video. And then we're going to go ahead by starting to create some new groups. We're going to create this one as cards. I'm going to go back up and create this one as tiles. Alright. Now, if you go deep enough into this, we'll get to a point where you can't create a group anymore. Now, there's a trick, however, to get around this. If we go back up into here and create a new group, we're going to call this Deep Group 1. Alright, so we can go back and actually select this Deep Group 1, and we can move it all the way down to the bottom of tiles 1. And although we cannot create a group here, although we cannot create a group here, we could move this group into this location. So if you have a lot of deep hierarchy when it comes to organizing your files, this is a little trick you can use to get some more groups deeper in your hierarchies. Go back to Tabletopia videos here, and we're going to go ahead and start adding some elements. We're going to go up here in the cards group, and we're going to get create object. And then notice you have a lot of different options here. We're going to go over just some of the basic ones. A card is obvious. As you select here, you're going to be able to select the back and the front, as well as size it, and publish it. Now, if you have multiple cards with the same back, it's a lot quicker to use the card deck. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start with that. The first thing we're going to do is upload the image for our back of our cards. So we're going to go ahead and use some Dojo Sensei tiles and images, just because I'm lazy and don't want to make more just for this video. We're just going to select some cards from here. We're going to select some Kung Fu cards. Now, this is our Kung Fu back, so go ahead and select that here. Alright, now if you watched my previous video with using GIMP, GIMP uses 100 pixels per 1 inch, and Tabletopia here uses 10 pixels for 1 millimeter. So as you'll see, this translates into our standard card size of 2.5 being 3.5 by 2.5 being 2.6 centimeters by 3.6 centimeters. Now within Tabletopia, using the centimeters is just fine. It'll look fine, work fine, and be exactly what we need. If you make this too large, you're going to take too much table space. So I suggest using that conversion to remain the same. Now if we go up here, we're going to go up to front, upload front images. I'm just going to hit this and can hold shift and select all of these and hit open. Now this will also include the back, which we want to remove, which is quite easily. Hit that X, and then you notice that we have 18 cards for our deck. Now although this back image gives us a size of 2.6 by 3.6 centimeters, the size of the object is actually created through the size of the front of the card. So in this case, if these front sizes are different than this back, it will be according to whatever this front is. Now you notice here that if you need to size this image to scale it, you can do so with this slider, and if you have it selected, you can also use your arrow keys to move it as well. Keep in mind that since the image is sized through the front and this is the size of the back, the object will scale by any percentages you have here, but if the front image is small or is a different size than the rear image, then this actual number will be incorrect. The file name for these will be whatever the files are that I've uploaded, what the file names are. So we're going to hit publish. I'm just going to go through and start publishing all those. And it'll take a little bit of time. So we're going to go back up and we'll go to our tiles. And we'll do the similar thing to create a tile group. So again, you can have a tile here that you can create the front and back, tell you what size it is, etc. This tile deck, similarly for the card deck, if you have a back that is the same for all your tiles, you can do that here. So we're going to go ahead this, and we're going to go ahead and use our tiles. And we're going to go ahead and use L-shaped tiles so I can show you something here. Alright, so these are all created in GIMP. They are PNG files, and I have cut away that bottom right hand corner like I showed you in that previous video. Although these look like they're there, they're actually not. You'll see those as we upload them. Alright, so we're going to select the back for this. Alright, and then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing as we did with the cards and select all of these here as well. And then again, removing the back image. Now you notice that this front image is an L going up and to the right, and this back image is an L going up and to the left. If you flip this over in Tabletopia, it will be mirrored, and you will have to create your back images as mirrors of the front. So again, we're going to hit publish to publish those objects. And then we'll go check on our cards. Alright, so our cards have published, or at least 9 of them have. Should be seeing some more here published soon. But you do notice this random element here. We want to turn that on. And what this random element does is allow us to basically have randomization in our game setup. So if you want to create a deck of cards that are pre-shuffled, you can create all those randomizations. And what the randomization tile actually does, or token element actually does, is it selects one of those objects from that group and inserts it at the placement of that image, or of the random element. So if we create a stack of random elements, it's going to basically give us a pre-shuffled deck. If you have random elements that are dealt to players, it'll select one to automatically deal to those players from the group where that random element is contained. So you notice the cards here also continue to be published. This will show up as long as all these elements are all the same size. If you need to change a specific size, you can go into one of them and go into Edit. And you can change this size here. Okay. Again, this is 2.6 by 3.6. If we want to change the size, we could easily use this slider and go ahead and cancel that. Alright, so the other things you can create are a counter. This is like anything else. It simply has numbers that you can scroll through. A picture counter is a little unique in that you can have images displayed in place of the numbers. So you'd have basically a counter that when you scroll past, it would change the image on that counter. Obviously, dice, game board are your large boards that you have on the table. And these are your tiles, and your tokens are just another version of a tile that changes some of the different rules and how things connect. So that's basically how you upload your PNG files to Tabletopia, as well as some tricks on getting things organized. If you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and ask. Again, this is Anthony Baker from Apollo Raw Games. Feel free to visit us on Facebook and like our page, as well as our website. Have a great design day.